Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures, and today we've got a nice Obscurity and Plamo here. We have the Spiricle Striker Mugen Seijiro Kamiyama type. Okay, so this is from the most recent Sakura Wars game, and me and Sakura Wars go way back. That was like when I was in college, and I had a roommate who was just as obsessed with video games as me, and he did have a modded Saturn as well as a Japanese PS2, and we played the crap out of all of these games. We were both big fans of Kosuke Fujishima, who did the original game's character design, and I just found out that Tite Kubo, the guy that did Bleach, actually did the designs for this one. So it's pretty under control for Kubo stuff. But I built one of the original Kobu Kai, I think that's what they were called, the original Sakura Wars model kits. I think Wave made it way back when, like, gosh, 20 years ago almost now. That's kind of scary. And the thing did not want to stay together. It had horrible posability. It was just a mess, and it wasn't a cheap kit either at the time. So this is kind of an upgrade. I'd always wanted to build a new one, and so hey, what do you know, this is from the newest game, and I know you can see right here on the box, I guess these are still from the newer game. They did do a model line of the original Kobu Kai, I'm pretty sure that's what they were called, model kits, mechs from the original game. So if that's more up your alley, those do exist out there. They are in the wild. Give me a second, we'll pop this open here. Alright, so I don't know what I'm getting myself into with the white model. I should know better than that. I do like that we have the gold parts. They're not gonna make any type flashy stuff. Not seen any. Oh, there's all the stickers. Not a high grade Bandai kit without some polycaps. And a few decals while we're at it, and a flesh colored 1/24th scale Seijiro, I believe his name was. So, a good chunk of parts in here. Somebody told me they've seen these at Barnes & Noble, which is an American bookstore chain that sometimes carries nerdy stuff. Okay, so interesting. Everything is actually fully bilingual from the very get-go. That seems to be standard operating procedure these days. Except, of course, that you can't order the parts if you have a mistake. I actually have used the parts service while I've been in Japan before, and I gotta say it is pretty nice. Had a broken DJ one year, but they were really cool about taking care of that. Color guide is actually all matched up as well. That's actually quite nice if you were going to go in and paint that. I can't remember the last time I really spent the time to actually go in and paint all of those interior details, but it looks like it's going to be a nice little kit. I don't know how little it's going to be either. Parts look pretty big. Doesn't look the most complex. It's not like the entire booklet you'd be getting if you were building, let's say, you know, a master grade kit. But it does look like it's going to be pretty neat with the twin katanas there. So give me a sec. We're going to put it all together and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so we got our Spherical Striker, if I'm remembering its name correctly because I tossed the box, put together here. So it's a nice, thick model. Not a lot of, I guess there is some movement in the waist. Unfortunately, it's kind of hampered by the sword scabbards here. There is a little plug, so if you don't want to put them on there, you can replace it, and I kind of imagine that that's going to be a standard bit throughout the line. For whatever reason, it kind of reminds me not so much the original Kobu Kai, but more like the, oh god, I don't remember what they're called, the machines in the Wataru series, or Keith Courage in the Alpha Zones. Very squat, little body with, you know, big, long limbs. One of the nice things is you can, if I can remember which part, okay, that's how it opens up. So you can see inside there, you've got the pilot. I obviously did not bother to paint him, but that is something I would recommend you do prior to building. It's going to be kind of a hassle to take everything apart, and it's locked in there pretty tightly, which is a plus. Arm movement is pretty decent. You've got a lot of flexibility. And then the arms can actually extend a little bit outwards, so the joint can go higher up. I'm not going to bother playing around with it because the whole thing will fall apart on me most likely. So you can see there the swords do come off. Funny thing is, it also has a similar style joint on the legs and the sword. I didn't even use most of the... Well, I used all the stickers, come to think of it. So like you can see here on the guard of the sword, and like so. Ta-da. For its price and the size of the box, as everything falls apart, I expected, I don't know, a little bit more, to be honest. I feel like it's a decent size, but it's not that big. Actually, you know what it reminds me, now that I think about it, as I'm rambling about two different things, is a Scope Dog. With the way it opens, and I keep thinking there was a 1/24th scale Scope Dog kit at some point or another. Then that makes me want to actually just go build Scope Dogs. It's been some time. Alright, so how does it stack up compared to other models? You know what? I really need a regular size Gundam in here. I don't have one. I do have an SD Gundam. And you can see it's a little bit bigger than that. Let's see, I have my Grands on. But that's just a big honkin' kit. Doesn't even fit on the screen. So he is a pretty substantially larger kit there, and much more complex. How about in terms of models that you may be more familiar with? Grabbing an Imperial Knight. I think with some fun doodling around with paint jobs, you might be able to come with some interesting customization options for gaming. I know there are a couple variations of these with guns all over it, so if that was something you were more interested in, throwing a tag in there. So obviously, it's going to be a lot bigger, considering it is 1/24th scale, than most of our typical 28-30mm wargaming skirmish tabletop style stuff. So if it's something you're interested in, I'd say go ahead and check it out. It's got a very unique, look to it. It's not your typical Gundam mech. It didn't build itself like a typical Gundam mech, and it's just a little bit different than what Bandai usually puts out. And that's one thing I always like. I like when Bandai puts stuff out that is a bit out of the ordinary, like when they did their Brain Powered or some of the other funky kits over the years. They're Gotsaraki kits for a show that really didn't need it, and that does not want to stay together. But I'm rambling, and that's a good indication that it is time to end this video. And hopefully, I've seen these things out and about at the local Barnes and Nobles and stuff. So if you're in the States, there is a good chance you might be able to track some of these down. And if you do find them in the bookstores, then, absolutely you're going to want to use those discount coupons, right? That's the best way to do it. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.